Now, when our next guest was growing up, her family had a very specific idea of what her future would look like.
29-year-old Dolly was born into a very privileged family with connections to the royals, but cut off all contact after they refused to support what she calls her bimbo identity.
Well, Dolly has now spent thousands of pounds transforming her image, and she joins us now. And thanks for being here, Dolly. It's lovely to meet you. And we should sort of say right from the off that when we're using the term bimbo and saying this is what you refer to of yourself, that you're using this as a very, very positive term. So what does that identity mean to you?
Exactly. It is ultra-feminine. It's being empowered within your sexuality. And I see it as my identity as well. It's very much part of my sexual identity.
And who you are.
And but there are just to pick up on that, there are people who would it can be used and has often, more than often, been used in a derogatory way.
Exactly.
And so how do you come to terms with the fact that you've named yourself something that many would say, well, that's not a very nice thing to call yourself?
I think the dictionary definition is very much slang, it's very derogatory, and it's a real shame. And I think that we live in a world now where, you know, we should be more accepting and more celebratory of people's identities. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily go, oh, she's a goth, you know, like that. And people go, oh, she's a bimbo. And I think that times really need to change and identities should really be celebrated for what they are.
So let's talk about growing up, because it didn't always start out like this, did it? You grew up in a house that had very traditional sort of
very
ideals.
Strict, yeah,
very strict.
Traditional, very regimented.
You felt very oppressed at that time?
I did, yeah, I really did. And I think retreating and going into my imagination, I had a lot of Barbies, and it kind of started from there, and that's how I started celebrating who I really was and who I wanted to be.
Tell us what life was, because we're not going to go into details, because you've asked us not to, about the sort of link to the royal family, but it is a historic link that goes back in time.
Yeah.
But what was life like? Are we talking about aristocratic, big country house, hunting, shooting, fishing? What was life like?
Yeah, so some of that, yeah, very much country, rural.
Stuffy?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I went to all-girls school, very kind of structured days, structured social life. Friends were kind of chosen, you know, it was all within the family friendship groups. So, I wasn't really allowed to hang out or go and explore and meet other people.
What was the plan for you as a person?
The plan for me was to get married to maybe a wealthy landowner or someone within the family circle and have lots of babies.
Well, you had a different plan, and you went to London and you met lots of different people, all types of different people, and this was then when you decided to change your image to match who you felt like inside. And your first surgery that you had was your breast surgery.
Yeah.
And you had your lip filler.
Yeah.
And then it started everything else.
Yeah,
so where are you at now with all of that?
So my first surgery was 520 cc's, and now I'm at...
Is this in your...
This is my breast
surgery,
okay,
yeah. Right.
And I'm now at 1,010.
Right.
Hoping to go to up to 2,000, and we'll see from there.
Right, OK.
Lip fillers, I'm still growing my lips. I really like the ultra pouty.
The fuller look.
Yeah.
But there's more extreme things as well. You're considering having a rib taken away. I think we've spoken about this on here before, the dangers of doing...
We've met people that have done it.
Yeah, and that your ribs are meant to be there to sort of cover internal organs, like to protect things. And if you remove one, you are actually putting your internal organs at danger.
Sure.
But something you're willing to do? It
is something I'm willing to do. It's something that interests me, to get the really super narrow Barbie kind of hourglass waist. The floating ribs are a little bit safer to remove than any other structural integrity of the ribs, but it's more just like it's what I desire, it's what I want to do.
Well, you say you want to be more plastic than human.
I do, yeah.
So to what extent will you take that? How far will you go?
We'll see, really. At the moment, I have, since lockdown, been going more towards becoming a plastic bimbo. And I am still very much in the kind of infancy of exploring that side. So we'll see.
How do you become plastic, though? What makes you plastic?
I'm sure there's some sort of ratios of quantity of
silicon.
of silicon to flesh. I'm not sure. It's just a feeling, you know. And I want to explore that plastic identity and express myself, you know, how I've always wanted to. You only live once, and this is who
how
I
you
want to
live
be.
it, and absolutely
show the world this is me.
And this is who you are. The sad thing about this is that you don't have any contact with your family.
No.
Now, because and why is that? Is it because they just can't understand this?
For many reasons, and one of the reasons is that they don't approve of my choices, my lifestyle, my identity.
That's very sad.
It doesn't fit within their box of what they had planned for me.
Do you miss
and I am a person, and I should be able to live my life how I choose, and hope that the people around me will celebrate me for me. As long as you're good, you're kind, you care about others. I don't see why that would be so demonised.
Do you miss them?
I don't.
Right.
Not now. I've made my peace. It was very, very hard to begin with. Definitely a low point. But I can be myself now, and I'm celebrated. I have great friends. There's an amazing bimbo community who are just so wonderful, inclusive, diverse, and you know they say you can't choose your family, but you can make your family.
I mean, you're achieving the look. You're happy, which is fundamentally the most important thing. What happens when you get to, you're still very young, 50, 60, 70? Can you be a 70-year-old bimbo?
I think you can be a 70-year-old, anything you want to be. I think I'll be fabulous. I'll wear short skirts, maybe leopard print tights. I'll go for it.
Go for it. Good for you. It's really lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Look
for having
after
me
yourself,
on.
all right?
Thank you.